do you do? Good morning to you. Good morning. Welcome to Story Time. Story Time, space invaders and astronauts. Are you guys ready to blast off into space? Let's do it. We ready? Let's get out our Miss Becca songbook and let's sing our welcome song. Welcome, welcome everyone. Now we're here, let's have some fun. First we'll sing our ABCs, then we'll read and sing with me. Welcome, welcome everyone. Now we're here, let's have some fun. Excellent job. Make sure that you're singing loud enough today so that they can hear you up into outer space, way out there. Are we ready? Let's do our ABCs. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Good job. Very good. All right. We're going to get ready to get into our first story and our first song. I'm going to find the right page here. Here we go. Blast off story time. Ready for our first song? It's kind of a song's poem together, and it's going to make our bodies move just a little bit to get some initial wiggles out. We ready? This one's called Moon Ride. Do you want to go up with me to the moon? Let's get in our rocket ship and blast off soon. Whoosh! Faster and faster we reach the sky. Isn't it fun to be able to fly? We're on the moon. Now take a look. Sit back down and I'll read you a book. Here's our first book. Zoom, Rocket, Zoom! Written by Margaret Mayo. Illustrated by Alex Aliff. Published by Walker & Company, which is a division of Bloomsbury Publishing Incorporated. Mighty rockets are good at zoom, zoom, zooming. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift off! Launching! Woo! Up they go, zooming, blasting into space. Smart astronauts are good at guiding. At the controls, watching and waiting. Then, pow! Booster rocket firing, traveling deep in space. Lunar modules are good at tricky moon landings. They leave the spaceship swooping, descending. Spidery legs ready for BAM! Safe landing, touching down in space. Excited astronauts are good at moonwalking, bouncing, bounding, whoops, no falling, scooping up moon rocks and carefully collecting. They can work in space. Moon buggies are good at rolling, round wheels turning, soft dust gripping across the humpy, lumpy moon, bumpity bumping, exploring up in space. Space shuttles are good at big load moving. Up they hurtle, booming, thundering. Dock at a space station for fast unloading, carrying tools in space. Space stations are good for living and working. A place for eating, sleeping, studying, and whoopee! Weightless somersaulting. A home while deep in space. Would you like to live in space? That would be really fun. Bold astronauts are good at spacewalking, with arms waving, almost dancing. On the job, rebuilding and repairing, working hard in space. Space satellites are good at around the Earth orbiting, taking pictures for weather forecasting. Signals flying, whiz, TVs receiving, circling around in space. Robot spacecraft are good at speeding, powered by the sun. They keep on flying, reaching distant planets and even landing, whizzing through deep space. Robot rovers are good at roaming. They travel over Mars, searching, exploring, wild winds measuring, red deserts finding, discovering in space. When night has come and the moon shines bright, reflecting back our sun's great light, explore the stars and search the sky and watch for satellites gliding by. The end. Okay, I had to back up for this next song because I need a little bit of space. We're gonna move our bodies again. After all, we're blasting off into space this week, so it's gonna take a lot of space, isn't it? Be careful that we don't hit any siblings, brothers, sisters, or any other grown-ups, or dogs or cats. Be careful, make sure you have lots of space. Be ready? Let's sing I'm a Little Rocket, and it goes to the tune of I'm a Little Teapot. I'm a little rocket pointing at the moon. Now I'm getting fueled up, we'll be ready soon. When it's time to board me, then I'll say jump high, blast off, zoom! We're on our way. Good job, that one's fun. One more time, you think so? Let's do it. I'm a little rocket pointing at the moon. Now I'm getting fueled up, we'll be ready soon. When it's time to board me, then I'll say, blast off, zoom! We're on our way. Good job. Have you ever watched on TV the blast off of any of the rockets that have gone off lately? Well, if you have, there's one important thing that they always do before the rocket whoosh, goes and takes off. Do they just say, okay, ready and go? Whoosh. No, they don't do that, do they? What do they do to set the rocket off in motion? They count, and they count backwards. They count down from 10 to 1. And after they get to 1, then they say, blast off. Our next song, poem, does just that. At the very end, we're going to count down from 10, and we're going to blast off into our next story. Okay, let's do it together. This one's called Blast Off. Climb aboard the spaceship, we're going to the moon. Hurry and get ready, we're going to blast off soon. Put on your helmet and buckle up real tight, 'cause here comes the countdown, so count with all of your might. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Here's story number 2. Outer Space Bedtime Race. Written by Rob Sanders. Illustrated by Brian Wan. Published by Random House Children's Books. Good night. Good night, the children call, while spinning on their earthly ball. They pull their covers way up tight and turn off every bedside light. Tucked in safely in their comfy beds, they're not the only sleepyheads. In outer space, it's bedtime too. The aliens need some sleep like you.
aliens rip around the sun. The time for racing has begun. The planets line up in a row. Now ready, set, and blast off. Go! The Mercury kids land rocket ships. They hurry to their nightly clips. They glide along on rocky paths to steaming crater bubble baths. Inside sleep chambers, warm and snug, they squeeze together in a hug. Click, click, go all the chamber lids. It's time for bedtime for the Mercury kids. On Venus, time goes on and on. It seems like days and days till dawn. Kids shimmy into deep sleep suits and rubberized compression boots. They sip on warm galactic goop and slurp the slime chunks, scoop by scoop. As satellites go whizzing by, loud snores from Venus fill the sky. The Martians scrub and wash and clean, and soon their skin is gleaming green. They rinse and spit with Martian flair. They comb their tangled, star-filled hair. They boing and bounce on giant springs and land inside red hammock swings. The Martian parents softly hum when slumber time on Mars has come. To fall asleep on Jupiter, the kids count moons till their eyes blur. They use 12 fingers and 6 toes till they finally start to doze. The rings of Saturn circle around as Saturn kids at last bed down. They rest their heads on clouds of fluff. Get this, they all sleep in the buff. Uranus is a gassy place. They sleep with masks stuck to each face. Before lights out, with beaks and books, they curl up inside cozy nooks. Since Neptune swarms with icy clouds, the Neptunites must sleep in crowds. Just as the clock strikes 59, those snoozers cross the finish line. The Pluto kids sleep on their feet, lined up together, nice and neat. Poor Pluto is so very small, it's not a planet after all. The aliens are now asleep, out in the cosmos dark and deep. They end their nightly bedtime race as planets spin through outer space. Far from the starry Milky Way, where asteroids zigzag and sway, past comets and a shooting star, and all the way to where you are. This outer spacey bedtime race has now returned to our home base. With all the aliens in bed, it's now your turn, you sleepyhead. The end.
All right, friends, before we read our last story, let's do our last song called If We're Going to the Moon. This song's important because it reminds us what good astronauts have to do before they blast off into space. So let's sing it. Woo! Whoops! I think these spaceships are tired of being here too, and they want to blast off into space. See my little alien friends? They're like, let's get out of here. Let's blast off into space and go home. Stay. Okay, now, if we're going to the moon, If you're going to the moon, wear your boots. If you're going to the moon, wear your boots. If you're going to the moon, this is what you have to do. If you're going to the moon, wear your boots. If you're going to the moon, wear your suit. If you're going to the moon, wear your suit. If you're going to the moon, this is what you have to do. If you're going to the moon, wear your suit. And now we need gloves. If you're going to the moon, wear your gloves. If you're going to the moon, wear your gloves. If you're going to the moon, this is what you have to do. If you're going to the moon, wear your gloves. And now your helmet. Can't forget that one. Last thing. If you're going to the moon, wear your helmet. If you're going to the moon, wear your helmet. If you're going to the moon, this is what you have to do. If you're going to the moon, wear your helmet. Now go blast off.
Chicken in Space, written by Adam Lehrhaupt, illustrated by Shahar Kober. Published by HarperCollins Children's Books, which is a division of HarperCollins Publishers. Zoe wasn't like the other chickens. She had dreams. She had a plan. What's her plan? This says space. I think she wants to go to space. What do you think? She had a pig. Put your hat on, Sam, said Zoe. We are going to space. Before lunch? Asked Sam. Before pie? Is that a good idea? But Zoe was already off. Henry, said Zoe, come to space with us. No thanks, said Harry. I've got space right here. Not open space, said Zoe. Outer space. Pip, said Zoe, come to space with us. Sounds dangerous, said Pip. Not dangerous, said Zoe. An adventure. Clara, said Zoe, come to space with us. You don't have a ship, said Clara. You can't go to space without a ship. Not a problem, said Zoe. An opportunity. Zoe always finds a way, said Sam. Look, Sam, I found a ship, said Zoe. Of course you did, said Sam. Chicken in space. Wow, said Zoe. Space is beautiful. So is pie, said Sam. See any pie? Zoe looked. Oops. Watch out for the ball, said Sam. Not a ball, shouted Zoe. An asteroid. Watch out for the kite, said Sam. Not a kite, said Zoe. A comet. Oh no, watch out for the birds, said Sam. Not birds, said Zoe. Alien attack ships. Pop, 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 pop. Oh no, we're going down, yelled Sam. Prepare for landing, said Zoe. Crash! Perfect, said Zoe. Zoe to ground control. I repeat, Zoe to ground control. We made a perfect landing. Perfect? Asked Sam. There isn't any pie. Back at the barn, the animals gathered to hear about Zoe and Sam's big adventure. We went to space, said Sam. We were hit by an asteroid. We dodged a comet. And we battled aliens. Everyone was impressed. How did you do it? Asked Clara. Zoe always finds a way, said Sam. I just wish we'd found some pie. Zoe tapped Sam's shoulder. For me? Asked Sam. Is it pie? Not just a pie, said Zoe. A moon pie. Aw. Sam broke off a piece of his pie for Zoe, but she was already planning their next adventure. Where do you think they're going next? The end.
Good job. Let's do an activity. I think I'm going to set these friends down now so we have a little bit more space. And we have one activity and one craft today. Now, I've never been to the moon, but I imagine that there are rocks on the moon. Seems rocky, right? This we know. And have you ever seen a moon rock? Well, I've seen pictures of what they said are moon rocks. Today we're gonna make our own moon rocks and we're gonna make a cool activity out of it. So in your Storytime bag, you should have gotten a few pieces of foil. And what we're going to do, really easy, is we're going to crumple some of these up and make some moon rocks. Our own version of moon rocks anyway. You should have a few sheets that are this big, and you can crumple them and just make one giant moon rock. But for this activity, I think it would work best if we cut them into pieces and tried to make, I don't know, 6 moon rocks. I think is probably a good number. I think I'll start off. Maybe just cut this in half. And this is just foil, so I mean it rips really easily too if you don't have scissors. Could have just done that. Let's see, I've got, maybe I'll make 4 out of this one. And then I've got another one here. Maybe I'll make 2 out of this one, maybe to make it a little bit bigger. That should be good. 6 moon rocks. So now that I have my foil, all I do is crumple it and make it into a moon rock. Just so it's a little bit round, and you don't have to smush it super tight, just enough to make enough of a ball shape. And this activity is going to help 2 things. It's going to help our counting skills, practicing the numbers up to the number 6, since we made 6 moon rocks. If you wanted to practice more, maybe you're really good at counting to 6. Maybe you want to make 10 or 15 or 20. Or the opposite, maybe 6 is really hard for you. That's okay, just make 2 or 3. Anything helps. The other thing that this activity works is our gross motor skills. It's been a while since we've heard that. Ew, gross. Not that kind of gross. Our gross motor skills are those big motor skills where we move our arms and we jump real high and we run really fast. So those are all really important motor skills for big kids like us at home to practice and get better at. You need some type of bin. It could be a box, it could be a trash can, maybe it's one of the organization bins, a plastic bin that you have at home, anything. What we're gonna do is we're gonna throw our moon rocks into it. Take another sheet of paper, any paper, scrap paper is fine, and I'm going to cut this into 6 pieces since I have 6 rocks. If I only had 3 rocks, I'd only get 3 pieces. If I had 15 rocks, I'd make 15 pieces. You get the idea. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to number these papers with a number on there. And that's going to tell me how many rocks I'm going to throw into my box. And I forgot a pen. Whoops. There I go. I had to go to the moon and back to get my pen or my crayon. So I'm going to take my scraps and I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And difficult to see, but the numbers are there. Grown-ups can help with this if they need to. And then what I'm going to do is mix them all up and I'm going to flip them upside down so I cannot see the numbers. If you have a little baby brother or sister at home, this could be their job. They can mix all of them up and then maybe have them choose one paper. Say, okay, baby, go ahead and grab me a paper. And we have the number, the number 5. Okay, we are going to have to practice throwing 5 into our box. Now, if you're at home, see if you can throw farther away than Miss Becca is. Maybe you want to put your box on the ground and maybe you want to stand in the middle of the room and do it. Just the further away, the harder it'll be. Since I don't have a lot of space, I think I'll sit right here. Okay, I have 5 moon rocks to throw. Count with me at home. Are we ready? 1, I got it. 2, 3, 4, 5. I still have one more. Do I throw this one too? No, we were only supposed to do 5. So there we go. There's 5, and then we can do it again and pick a different number. And I'm going to do 1. Okay, I had 1 left over. Are we ready? That's pretty easy for me. It's really close. At this point, maybe I would try to take 2 giant astronaut steps back and see if I could throw it even further. And then if you get really good, can you throw it backwards? No, I can't. Okay, let's go ahead and let's move on to our craft. In your bag, you should have received 1 piece of cardstock and 2 marbles and some paints and little cups. I have everything the same here. The only thing that you will need from home is 1 pair of scissors, and then you're also going to need some type of box. I suggest using like a shoebox or a lid to a copy paper box or any type of cardboard lid. We're going to be painting and putting our paint inside here. You could use like a cake pan if you had to. These are always washable paints, so they should not stain anything. But to be safe, best to use cardboard. All right, what I'm gonna do is we are going to make our very own planet using marble painting. So now that we've blasted off into space, we gotta come home and show all the family what we saw in space. So we're gonna show them the planet that we found. What you're gonna do is you're going to take your tag board and you're gonna draw a circle on it. Doesn't have to be perfect because planets aren't all perfectly circular. So that is perfectly fine. And in fact, mine looks a little bit more like an oval. Once you've drawn your circle, go ahead and cut it out. And then this is the really fun part. You're going to take your planet and we're going to set it in our box. Hopefully we can see this. And then we're going to take the paint from our paint cups, or I have this paint here, and we're going to drop a few drops onto our planet. Now, hopefully I can do this so you can see. Let me zoom in. So I'm going to take my planet. You're going to do yours in the box. We don't make a huge mess, but to show you, this is brand new, not opened. Silly Miss Becca. Oh, that was a tough one. Good thing I have my astronaut muscles to help me. Is this one open? Yes. Okay, take two. Let's try that again. I've got this dark blue, and I'm going to put a few dots. It doesn't take a lot. And I'll take some yellow, and I'll put some of that on there, and you can put it anywhere. Maybe I'll swirl it, just like so. The fun part about this craft is there's no rhyme or reason. You can put as much paint or as little paint as you want. If you have other paints at home and you have permission, maybe you can put a few more colors on there. But here's the fun part. So I'm gonna set my moon, or my planet, down in my box. I'm gonna take my marbles, and I'm gonna drop them in there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna roll. My box is not entirely flat. So, lesson learned already. I think I'm going to tape down my planet on the sides to hopefully help the marbles, help it stay down and help the marbles go across it. We'll see if it helps. Okay, trying again. I'm having a lot of try agains today. That's okay. Drop them in there and let the marbles fly all around. And it's gonna take a few minutes, but the marble's gonna go through all of the paint and start making some really fun patterns on there. And if you want, woo, it's kind of like a fun game. If that's not enough, you can add some more paint, and I think I will, just because. Put another dot there, and another dot there, and there, and there, and then some blue, and some blue there. A blue there, and blue there, and blue there. Yes, more marble. Ready, and let's go. Woo! Oh no, don't get stuck. Oh my, oh here we go. My marbles are slowing down because they've got paint on them. Would you look at that? Can you see, when I show you my planet, what colors do you see? I see the blue and I see the yellow, but do you also see green? There's definitely some green in there, isn't there? But wait a minute. I didn't put any green in there. I just put blue and yellow, didn't I? So where did the green come from? Well, blue and yellow are two primary colors. And a primary color, when you mix them together with another primary color, they make a different color. Blue and yellow make green. Isn't that awesome? So, even though I only put two paints on my planet, I ended up with 3 colors. So that's another fun thing to experiment with. Maybe if you used yellow and red, try it out and see what colors you would get. Or blue and red and see what you get. There we go. I had a giant blob of paint there that I wanted to go through. And now I think it's looking pretty good. What do you think? As soon as your planet is painted as much or as little as you want, you can either leave it in there to dry, or you can take it out and go set it out in the sun or somewhere else to dry, away from little fingers of little brothers and sisters and pets probably, because otherwise that'll be a mess. But as soon as it dries, then you'll have a really cool planet. Mine's too wet to take out. And I'll let that dry. So that's it. It was so fun blasting off into space with you today, Storytime Squad. Can't wait to see you next month. Have a great day. Show me your planets in the comments if you have permission from your grown-up. See you next week. Bye.